Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday, week 9, nimble with numbers here. Scott Simpson, I hope you are doing well. Blowing out the Saturday night, bringing in the Sunday. This Sunday, I'm still chasing the Milly Maker. The chase begins. The chase continues, whatever you want to say. I'm not there yet. I'm not on the beach in Tahiti, as Bo would say, escaping the world, running away. Maybe I don't have to run away after all. We'll have to see. But I'm still on the hunt. I'm still on the chase. Glad you could join me this morning. It never ends. The DFS is always streaming through my blood. I love DFS. Can't wait for today. So excited. Going to build a Milly Maker lineup today with you all. If you want to jump in the chat, please. Love to hear from folks out there in the DFS world. Give me your thoughts on the lineup as I go. Really excited. Going to be using some tools today. I have up right now my website, which gives you a little bit more about why I need to make $1 million. Honestly, the truth is, it's my dream because it's my family's dream. They want a lot of things, and I got to get it for them because, I'm a good dad, and I got to do that. So that's what we're here to do today. We're here to try to win that $1 million. Don't copy my lineup, folks, because if I win and then you copy it, I don't win $1 million. So this is off limits. This is more entertainment value. Maybe pick up a few plays that you can do in your GPP tournaments. If I get that $1 million and I find out somebody's copying me, son of a gun, I'll come after you. I will. Legally, I'll be all on you. No, I'm kidding. I hope you do jump in, learn some things today. I'm going to learn some things as well as I go. So let me talk about some of the tools I'm going to use as I go. I have my Nimble W numbers scoring tool that I have here for DraftKings. This is going to be something I'm going to reference as we do build. I'm also going to have actually the lineup up. So this will be the lineup. And then I'm also using a tool by Occupy Fantasy to look at the percentages as we build and look at our team. I want to know where the ownership is for these players that we're going to plug in. The key to the Milly Maker is having differentiation. It's zigging when other people are zagging. It's not having all of the same players that everybody else has. So we're going to use this tool to help us, to kind of give us an edge to see where ownership is, whether it's at wide receiver or running back or whatever. We're going to be checking it out. I'm really excited that you're with us today. So let's get started. One more thing you might see us reference to is the Vegas odds, the implied odds. This is a tool that I use every week just to look at where the line is, where the action is, where the betting public thinks the game is going to be, and where Vegas thinks the game is going to be. If they think it's going to shoot or if they think it's going to be a relatively kind of a boring affair. So these are some of the tools we're going to use as we go build our lineup. Let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at the ownership percentages for our quarterbacks. I think that's something that when you're building your lineup, you want to make sure that you are stack attacking correctly. So let's go take a look at, I'm going to get rid of all of these other friends, and we're just going to take a look at our quarterback ownership percentage just to kind of see where everybody is at and what's going on in that realm right now. Looking at Russell Wilson at the highest owned percentage, around 13%. Josh Allen, one of my favorites, coming in around 12%. And then Deshaun Watson, who could be in for a big game at 7.8%. Interestingly enough, the person who I think has the biggest, the ceiling that could just pop today is Patrick Mahomes. He's only at 7%, but he is priced up at 8,100. Those are really the only quarterbacks up in that first echelon that are being those are the top quarterbacks that are being selected. You can definitely differentiate today. There's a lot of different options. Drew Lock priced down at 5,200 is not somebody who I want. He's not a good quarterback. But somebody who might be is Matthew Stafford. I know he hasn't practiced this week very much, but he's kind of a deal there at 6,600. If you want to slum it down here, I personally am going to pay up for quarterback this week. In a game where I think the game is going to pop. And I'm going to go in this situation with Josh Allen. I like Josh Allen, only at 12%. He is the second owned quarterback. So I'm going to put him in. We're going to see how that looks when we build our model. And I'm also going to run it back with my man Josh Allen. I'm going to run it back with two of his wide receivers because, Diggs is definitely one of the most heavily targeted wide receivers, one of the best wide receivers in the league. I know that is a popular stack today. If you look at the different stack options, if we go into the Occupy tool and we go for take it off of quarterback. We go to running back. Oh, sorry, wide receiver. Stephon Diggs, 17% owned. So this is going to be a stack that is heavily owned. I'm going to have to pivot away from some of the other chalk in this since I'm going to be a little chalky, at least with this stack right here on the top. On the back end, I'm not going to leave him by himself. I'm going to also put in another friend here to stack attack because, you know what, I don't think that Seattle is going to be able to cover anybody. I mean, not one single person. So, you know, I think this is going to be a game where they can get theirs. And so, you know, John Brown only down here at 4,600. That's a steal, I think. So I'm double stacking Josh Allen. I've got Diggs. I've got Brown. I'm definitely going to run it back. Definitely going to run it back. I'm going to run it back with Tyler Lockett. There I have my wide receiving kind of my trio for the day set. You know, if you have any thoughts, please jump in. Would love to hear any comments, any thoughts that you guys have. So far, my lineup is Josh Allen double stacked with Diggs and John Brown, and then I'm running it back with Tyler Lockett. So if we build this here in my tool, let's look and see how differentiated we are from everybody else when we add in some of these players. We got a lot of chalk so far, and that's a little scary. That is definitely a little scary. Let me see if I can add in John Brown. I have to go search for John Brown. Yeah, here we go. He's only at 4% ownership. Okay, that brings us down a little bit right there. Not too bad. Okay, so we're a little chalky with our run back, but now we're going to have to differentiate. We're going to have to make it so that we're not playing the same game as everybody else. So we're going to be looking to do that at the running back position, and there's a lot of good running backs this week that are priced in the mid-range, that are priced down. What we want to do is we want to look at, you know, for myself, the pattern over the last couple of weeks with running back touches and who's been getting the volume on their teams. You know, one of the breakouts that we've seen recently, you know, in Arizona is Chase Edmonds. I think a lot of people were Kenyon Drake truthers. They had him in the second round. That wasn't good. That was terrible. He's been letting down a lot of people. Let's see if we can put Kenyon Drake in our lineup and how much that's going to set us back. You know, so far we're looking pretty good. We did pay up for some players though. You know, particularly with Diggs, Lockett, and Josh Allen. So if we jump in with Chase Edmonds, and we're not looking too bad here. I think that's a solid start with our running back core. Let me now pivot and take a look at some of those options that we talked about that were priced down. I'm going to start here with David Johnson against Jacksonville, a horrible team. I know David Johnson's horrible, and I earlier this week definitely talked some mad ass about David Johnson. I've been moving off him. Listening to folks like Sal Vetri and others, I'm considering him, but I still like some guys that are priced down a little bit. So I'm going to keep scrolling, and I'm going to move past the DJ Dallas, and I'm going to just take a look here at Justin Jackson in this matchup against the Vegas Raiders. The Raiders. I think they can be run on, as the number indicates. 4,900, that value to me is just, it's so dripping. It's hard for me to overlook that value. I'm going to throw them in and kind of see where we're at right now. And we're doing well. We can still get a good flex and a defense. We're not going to punt defense, but, you know, defense, as they say, it's not as important. So I like to look for a defense in this realm down here, in this range of outcomes here. You know, we have Denver traveling to Atlanta. Atlanta, not a great defense. On my scoring tool, I have a defensive section as well. You know, you can look at the teams and where they rank from top to bottom, and some of these teams are down here. Minnesota, Detroit, Vegas, these teams that they do price down. It makes a lot of sense. You know, I know Atlanta is not very good, but Denver's not that great either. And I don't know what happened last week with Drew Lock and where he kind of just came out of nowhere to throw for 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That's an anomaly in my eyes. So, you know, that's an option if I'm considering jumping in and getting a defense down there. That's not a terrible price either. Pretty cheap there at 2,500. The Bills, oh man, that would be a crazy playback. I think no one would have the Bills in this game. You know, their defense is up against a really stout team, and they haven't been playing well as of late, giving up points to you know, the lowly Jets. I know it was like 9 field goals that they scored against them too. It wasn't a great offensive explosion, but that's something to be considering as well. You know, right now I'm going to throw in. I'll put in the Falcons for right now just to see where that leaves us. I'm not liking it. You can even tell the trepidation. I'm like, not a huge fan, but let's see where that leaves us right now. And I'm going to update my tool over here just to see about the percentage wise. Okay, adding in. And the Falcons they have 10% ownership. Okay, so I'm not the only crazy person who's picking them today. You know, you want to, if you're going to be crazy, you don't want to be alone. I think you kind of want to have a little bit of backup. And Justin Jackson, we're a little chalky right now. I got to tell you, we're going to have to definitely differentiate in our flex and in our tight end so that we're not as chalky as we are. I don't like this chalk. It's just, I mean, our projection is good, but our chalk is not. It's not as great as it could be. It's a little chalky. So if we're going to win, we're going to have to mix it up a little bit. But this is just the bones. This is the framework and kind of seeing where we can go and where we can start with. I do like my stack, but I'm also open to switching stacks with Russell Wilson in this game too, because this is the game I want to hit on. I know a lot of people are going to hit on this game, but I think for good reason too. You have two of the best offenses in football going at each other. The other quarterback I might consider pivoting to would be Deshaun Watson, but we'll see. We'll see what I can do with my tight end here. I'm looking to pay down at tight end this week. I'm looking for value. I think Will Dissly is a great value. Thank you, ESPN. I'm trying to do a live show here, buddy. But thanks. I'm glad. I think Will Dissly is a great value if you're punting this week at the tight end position. I think you could punt down here, maybe get 3-4 max if he catches a touchdown for sure. Leaves you with a lot in your flex. That's the thing I'm looking for. I'm looking to kind of max out my flex value. And then I'm looking at, just so many different options here. I've got DK price, but I got starting here Kelsey, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill in a game, that they're going to be throwing the football around a lot. They always do. James Robinson. I don't really love that. Will Fuller is a player that I think is very intriguing this week in a game, in a matchup that it definitely favors Houston. They're going up against a rookie quarterback. I'm just concerned. The only thing I'm concerned about is do they air it out? Do they just go balls to the wall and kind of show off what they got? Or do they play a little more conservative? I don't know what their mindset is. If we put Will Fuller in, we still have a little bit of money left over, which I do like. We could look and see where the defense is at and see if the defense could be upgraded. I mean, we could get to see if we can get to, with 500, we could get to the Titans. I'm not still sure about them after the last couple of weeks. They've let me down. We could get to the Cardinals. I do like that play. If we jump to the Cardinals, let's see what we're looking at here. We have Josh Allen, Chase Edmonds. So we're pairing up our defense and our running back. I like that. Justin Jackson, Stephon Diggs, John Brown, Tyler Lockett, Will Dissly, Will Fuller. I got a lot of Wills. This is a Will team. And then the Cardinals D. Let me go ahead and plug this into the generator, see if I'm differentiating enough for my build to make sure that I'm not just totally eating chalk, because I might just be eating all the chalk, and then that's going to be terrible. So let me jump through here. And the Dissly, how big is the Dissly factor here? What's the Dissly factor looking like these days? I know he is a cheap play. Has he been sneaking up? His price does not seem to be sneaking up. That's good. I like that. Let's see where he's at right now. He's barely owned. That's a great play. I like that. That helps a lot. All right. So we got Will Dissly really differentiated us there with the 0.4%. They just don't have him. So there's our kind of pivot away from everybody else, which is nice. If only 0.4% have him, everybody might have my lineup, but they don't have Will Dissly. So that's a good stop. A good start. Let's see what we can do here as well and just check and see our wide receiver position. If we add in Will Fuller, what that looks like percentage-wise, where the ownership's at. He's at 8% ownership. So if we put that in there, we're looking at 96% ownership. A nice projection. I do like that. We're not at 100% ownership, which I do like. You're going to have to eat some chalk. The John Brown pivot, after not playing for a while, that is definitely something that most people don't have. Will Disley makes us a little differentiated as well. Let's take out Will Fuller and see what we can do if we change Will Fuller and just play a different wide receiver here. Let's see if we add in. We did go to the Cardinals D, so that did change our ability to play different players. Even in this zone, let's put in James Conner and see what that does. It leaves us with no money, so we're right up against it. Let's go put Conner in here as well. He is at 12%. That puts us at over 100% ownership. So that's actually not going to differentiate us and do what we want. We want to drive down that ownership and increase our chances of hitting. And in this range, there are Terry McLaurin I do like in this game. If we put Scary Terry in there, let's see what that does to our projections. We're just looking to drive down that ownership cost so that there's not, or that ownership percentage, we're not getting crushed. There's a lot of players that are playing over him. I like that. He's only at 6%. All right, we're down at 94%. I like this. This build looks like it has breakout potential. I've got fast, speedy wide receivers, which you definitely need. I've got volume plays at running back. I've got a game script in Buffalo where they're throwing the ball to catch up. I got Lockett and Disley, so I double stack that comeback there, hopefully looking to gain some value. I do have a little bit of money left. Let's see what I can do. If there's anything else I could do. This says I have, I'm at the Cardinals D. That was part of the problem here. Here I'm at the Falcons D. So no, I have a little bit less. That's why I have less. Okay. But at the defensive position, I do have more options. I could go Colts. I could go Bears. The Texans. Let's look and see at the defensive ownership real quick, just to see what that's going to lay out towards. Texans are very highly owned. Steelers, Washington football team, the Falcons. So the Cardinals did differentiate us at 8.3. I do like that. That's a better play for me in terms of giving me some value. Okay. Whew. You know what? I like it. The only thing I'm going to look at is if there's somebody in the 5,000K wide receiver, if I'm going to kind of come away from my double stack. It's the only kind of area I'm looking at. And let me go to my tool here, jump into my DK DraftKings tool. This tool can be found at nimblewnumbers.com. Use it every week. It's updated. It's got all the player stats, their values, what they've done every single game. And right now I'm looking at the pricing tool to go into that 5K range. I've got Slayton, Deontay Johnson in here. Ruggs 4,900. Mecole Hardman is a home run at 4,800. Jerry Jeudy is a super home run at 4,700. I just don't like Drew Lock and his accuracy. They are terrible, just completely terrible. So we could go as far up as maybe Mike Williams or Marvin Jones, and as far down in the 4,600 range as I don't like anybody underneath there. No, everybody else under there is trash. We're not going to go down at all. I think we go to Jerry Jeudy. We go up. We go up to Jeudy, and going from Jeudy, all the way over to Mike Williams. I think that those are the ceiling here. So let's check and see. If we go back to our tool, we take John Brown out. We're left with 5,000. Let's see what our options are here, wide receiver. Okay, so we don't have the Marvin Joneses and the Mike Williams of the world, so we're cut off from the 5,100s. But we're at 5K. I know that Deontay Johnson is going to be very chalky. Let's put him in, and then let's check and see what that does to our Choco meter, because I know that before our friend was not very heavily owned. John Brown was not. But if you check out the wide receivers, we're going to have some heavily owned players here. And Deontay Johnson is at 10%. So if I put Deontay Johnson as, I don't like that. That's not differentiated enough. Yeah, I mean, my projection goes up and my ownership is on the rise as well. I need something to differentiate myself here. So I don't think that the Deontay Johnson play is going to do it. Let me actually look, though, in that 5K range of players here and just kind of see where the ownership is. I think that would be the most helpful thing, because I need to have value. If I'm going to put somebody in at 5K, they need to be somebody I can trust to give me maximum upside. So looking in that range, Mecole's at 6%. John Brown was at 4%. That's what gave me that breakout, was that John Brown was so low. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pivot back to John Brown because maybe Jerry Jeudy's a little bit more expensive. So if I get rid of Deontay and I go Jerry Jeudy, 97%, and his ownership is increasing. I do like. This isn't a terrible lineup here. I'm going to play this lineup in the Milly Maker, but I think I might also play this lineup in my $100 head-to-head. So we'll see. I'm going for $100 double up. I'm going for big shock and awe today over here. Scott rocking it out with the shock and awe treatment. I am going to move off of Deontay Johnson. I don't like that. That is a little bit too risque for me personally. One tool I am going to check out as well is this DB cornerbacks matchup. This is from Roto Baller. Shout out Roto Baller. Love the work that they do over at their site. So let me take a look here at the cornerback matchups. This is going to help me a little bit when I decide where I want to go with that last positional wide receiver play. So let's take a look at Mecole Hardman. Let's zoom in on him. Mecole Hardman is going to be running out of the slot today, like he normally is with him and Tyreek Hill. They definitely share that position, but let's see if he gets on the field in the slot position, who he is going to be up against. KC is going against the Carolina Panthers. So right now he is projected to go up against Deontay Jackson. I don't really like that matchup for Hardman. They have not done a terrible job. Deontay Jackson hasn't. I like Demarcus Robinson's matchup a little bit better if I'm going to go there. So maybe I'm not jumping onto Hardman. When I look at the matchup for Buffalo and Seattle, and scroll down here to Seattle, Diggs has got all green. John Brown is all green with Trey Flowers as well. I think I'm going to pivot back to John Brown. We're looking for upside here. We're looking to smash. We're looking to go over the top, and the double game stack with John Brown does give me that. I'm gonna do one last look over here, and I'm gonna take out my guy Scary Terry for a second and just roll through here and see if there's anybody else in this section of wide receivers that I want to go for. Let me do one last look at Will Fuller. If I take out and put in Will Fuller, what that does for my ownership percentages. I do think that Will Fuller was more owned, I thought he was, than Terry McLaurin. I'm not sure exactly, but Will Fuller was at 8%, and Terry McLaurin was down at 6%. Yeah, that is quite a nice break there. I wonder what Mike Williams is at 6.6%. Okay, interesting. In that price range, we do have, but I do also think Will Fuller has more of an opportunity to hit. So. It's so hard to get away from Will Fuller in that situation. It gives 99% ownership. Oh, man, this is so tricky. This is where the money's made, though. You know what? Because that makes it so much more chalky, though, I have to move away. It's too chalky for me. This is less chalky. I think it is. Let me get rid of the Falcons because I need to update that for sure. And I'm going to throw in the Cardinals. And the Falcons were. So that does make it a little less chalky. Okay, I like that. I got a differentiation, 1.6%, I think, on that defensive shift. And then I also have a little bit of salary left over, which I like. All right, this is what I think I'm going to do. This is my lineup. Let me throw in. I actually got to put it in my lineup. Let me put McLaurin in. I can't believe Juju's priced up at 6,200. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's go McLaurin. So here's the lineup. This is what's going to win the Milly for me today. Josh Allen, Chase Edmonds, Justin Jackson, Stephon Diggs, John Brown, Tyler Lockett, Will Dissly, Scary Terry McLaurin and the Cardinals defense. I'm going to hit the update on that bad boy. We're going to call it a wrap. Thank you for checking out Scott and Nimble W Numbers. I appreciate it. We're rocking and rolling. We got Bo McBig Time. Check out Bo McBig Time and all the work he does over at Nimble W Numbers. You can also check out his hot sauce. I've got it right here. It is the Hot Box brand hot sauce. It is awesome. I love it. It is the best hot box around. If you want to get into hot boxing, this is how you start right here, boys and girls. Actually, no, not to kids, but men and ladies. Hotboxbatch.com. Go get that. Hotboxbatch.com. It is ridiculous. I will see you guys on the other side of the Milly Maker. Hopefully, I'll be a little bit richer. Have a great day, everybody. Go win yourself some money.